Welcome back to Thursday Night Nitro Series here on the Boom Tube. We've got a bit of a different week for us this week. We're at the home of the Tricky Triangle, Long Pond, Pennsylvania. The geometric oddity that has its place in the hearts of many a NASCAR fan and fans of stock car racing all around the world, has its roots in some of the most famous tracks in motorsports, because all three of these corners replicate elements of other racetracks. Drivers now on track for their warm-up. We'll be taking that green flag here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania in just a moment. But first, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our point standings in just a moment. All right, there we have it. Bennett Allen's still on top of the points board with 6 wins so far in the season, trailed closely by Kyle Nadeau. And Dusty Martin, who will soon take over that second spot because Kyle has unfortunately bowed out of the season due to some personal responsibilities. So we will hope for the return of Kyle in the future. But for now, it's going to be Dusty Martin taking over that second spot. After this week, Doug Argerbright in 4th place, and Max Baumann close behind him in 5th. Devin Gentry, 5 points behind Max, has been had a couple rough weeks. Last week at Watkins Glen was not kind to the driver of the number 12. Slips 2 positions down in the point standings. Bradley Murphy is in that 7th spot, holding strong. Same with Crank Bell. Tanner Witt advances 1 spot over teammate Alex Finney to put himself in the 9th position. Finney drops to 10th. Zach Miller in P11, up 1 spot after the Watkins Glen International Road Course last week, with Connor Bolton gaining 2 spots, and the same for Patrick Coro. Terry Silver slips a little bit in the standings, down 1 spot to 14th, with Kenny Reel down several spots after missing the race last week, down to 15th in the overall standings now. We'll go ahead and take a look at the qualifying order for this afternoon. Bennett Allen claims the pole position with a 55.344 on the board. Max Baumann for Team Highlands Racing had a massive comeback at Watkins Glen after starting the race a lap down last week. Managed to drive his way back up into the top 5 without the assistance of a full course caution. And he's going to roll off 2nd on the grid this afternoon with a 55.45. Just a couple hundredths behind him is Richard Allen in that number 4 Toyota with a 55.47. Terry Silvers and Bryson Clark round out the top 5. Bradley Murphy, Mike Stiverson, Doug Argerbright, Crank Bell, and Tanner Witt will be the top 10 for tonight's starting order. It'll be 80 laps tonight for our scheduled 200-mile distance at the Pocono Raceway. Pocono is a bit of a historic track, was founded in 1969, borrowing from 3 different racetracks. We'll go ahead and ride along with one of our drivers for a moment, see if we can't take a look at how these 3 distinct corners on this racetrack match those of others. Down to turn 1 and 2, where Max Baumann is currently. That's a copy of Trenton Speedway, New Jersey, a long-defunct racetrack that's 14 degrees of banking. If you haven't heard of Trenton Speedway, which I would wager many people have not, it's an oval with left and right turns. So if you haven't heard of Trenton Speedway, I encourage you to go look that up. That is a copy of turns 1 and 2 in Trenton Speedway. Turn 2, the flat kink in the middle of the racetrack, making up that second point on our triangle, is the 8 degree rather narrow corner, copied from Indianapolis, so borrowing from one of the most famous tracks in motorsports. And turn 3, copied from none other than the over a century old Milwaukee Mile at 6 degrees, flattest corner on this racetrack, but also one of the most important, trying to get that run down the longest straightaway in NASCAR, down that front stretch, where you can make a lot of time if you get it right, and you can lose a lot of time if you get it wrong. Drivers grading up now, they're hoping to get it right today. They'll be following Bennett Allen to the green flag, with Max Baumann starting to his outside. Once again, we'll run through our running order real quickly. The front row will be Bennett Allen on the inside, with Max Baumann to his outside, starting in the second position. Starting third is Richard Allen in the number 4, with Terry Silvers to his outside in the number 69 Chevrolet. In row 3, it's Bryson Clark starting in P5 on the inside, with Bradley Murphy in that 18 looking to make hay on the outside. In his number 18 Ram truck. In row number 4, it's Mike Stiverson with Doug Argerbright. And row number 5, rounding out the top 10 starters, is Tanner Witt with Crank Bell starting to his inside in that 9th and 10th positions. Dusty Martin going to be rolling off the inside of row 6 in that 11th position, with Zach Miller in the number 38 to his outside. And Devin Gentry, you mentioned, needs a little bit of a comeback after last week's events on the road course. He'll be starting P13, with Paul Turner in the number 5, starting to his outside in 14th. Slight adjustment to the running order. It'll be Randall Peasley was going to start 15th, but Terry Silvers will be issued an EOL. And we'll bring up the rear of the field. Coming to the green flag this time. Expecting a pretty long green flag runs here at Pocono Raceway. Usually a fairly calm racetrack, nice and wide for the most part. A lot of straightaways, only 3 corners. So you think, yeah, well, maybe slightly less chance of running into trouble. But they do tighten up, especially the middle corner here in turn 2, which they will be going into right now. See just how flat this is, and it does want to sling that truck to the outside in a hurry on the exit of the corner. So if you're having troubles with that right front tire, you better be careful that you have enough grip to make the exit of that corner without coming in contact with that wall that comes up at you very, very quickly. And if you're side by side with another driver, good luck to you. Lights are on the pace truck. We'll be taking the green flag this time by as they head through turn number 3. We mentioned that copy of Milwaukee Mile. Really flat corner. Gonna want to get as good of a launch out of this corner as possible, just like these drivers are looking to do as they take the green flag tonight. Here they come down the long straightaway in the front stretch. Green flag is out. Pretty good launch for both drivers up front. Max Baumann maybe a few inches of advantage on the outside, but they're neck and neck down to turn 1. Through turn 1, still side by side. Allen with the advantage. He'll clear off the corner. Now it's Richard Allen going for the second spot out of turn 1. He's down to the inside, but falling fast, losing momentum in that inside lane. It's going to be Max Baumann, followed by Bradley Murphy, who gained quite a few spots there on the initial start. So move Bradley Murphy up to P3 here in the early going. 2 truck lengths separates the front two. Another 8 back to Bradley Murphy in third. Behind him, it's Doug Argerbright. 6 car lengths behind Murphy, and trailing him is Tanner Witt, also a big mover here in the early going. Up 5 positions from that 10th place starting spot. Move him up into the top 5 here at Pocono. Different livery on that Waffle Motorsports entry as well. Looking mighty fine here in the Pocono Mountains. Richard Allen continues to slide towards the back of the top 10. He's down to 6th with pressure being applied from Bryson Clark in the 73. Still tight, bumper to bumper outside the top 5. Looking for that 5th spot is Richard Allen in the 4, sending it to the inside of Tanner Witt into turn 3. He'll have the advantage off the corner. Witt had to put a lot of wheel on eggs at the front end of that. Number 88 was pushing hard on the outside, lost a little bit of momentum, but he's going to gain that back down the front straight. They're neck and neck down to turn 1. Mike Stuyvesant looking to insert himself into this competition, trailing the top 5. He's currently running in P8, looking for more. He's got teammate Crank Bell in tow. Sorry, not teammate. He is an independent. Think of the driver in front of him. That number 73 is another long shot motorsport entry. Ahead of them, Richard Allen. Whoa! Contact with the outside wall. We told you that it gets really tight if you carry too much momentum through the very flat turn number 3, and he found out the hard way. Pretty good contact on that right front with the outside wall, but he's going to continue now having to fend off Bryson Clark for that 6th position. Clark down to the inside, but it looks like Allen going to have that run off the corner. Has the momentum for now. Little wiggle, but still going to be able to clear him down the backstretch. Up front, Max Baumann leads with Bennett Allen second. It's still tight for this top 5 positions. Really tight all throughout the field, as you see single file all the way through the field, but very tight. I don't think any trucks more than 5 car lengths apart. Pocono can turn into a bit of an oddball drafting track here in the truck series. The truck are very drag heavy vehicles, so they do tend to benefit from being around other cars, and they tend to not want to get away from other cars if you don't have some kind of aerodynamic help, somebody else piercing through the air in front of you to tow you along. That's what we're seeing here. Everyone behind able to stay right up close with the leader, and I think we're going to do a lot of swapping back and forth of this lead. Don't expect anyone to get too far out front here at Pocono. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the leaders there. Bennett's going to cut him a break after the contact. Got Baumann just a little bit loose there through the exit of the corner. Just a slight misjudgment. Caught the right rear just a little bit, but everyone gathers it up and continues on. But that brings both of them under fire from that number 18. Looks like Murphy's going to push that 15 to the front. He had the momentum, and he's following that momentum. He'll clear Bauman. Ooh, with Richard Allen, hard contact to the outside wall. That'll be a caution flag, and our first of the afternoon on the straight. I'll have to go back and take a peek at what happened there. Several drivers involved. Looks like Bryson Clark, Doug Arbright, Richard Allen, and Randall Peasley all involved in that melee. We'll come back and take a look at it. Looks like it's a little further back than what we see here. Starting right before the start-finish line, maybe all the way back coming out of turn 3. Saw the 4 had issues with that just a lap before. We see him sideways off the corner there. Taking a look, keeping an eye on this general group of trucks right here behind the leaders. And we'll go ahead and advance that just a little bit, and we'll kick over to slow-mo. Looks like looseness for the 4 coming off the corner. Goes down tags the 20. For a moment, it looked like everyone was going to gather it up. 4 appears to have not had it gathered up, so we see him make hard contact, bounce off that outside wall, tag the 20 yet again. Back into that outside wall he goes for another time and nearly makes contact with the 20 again. I can only imagine some kind of hardware issue or something on that number 4 causing some mayhem. We saw him put a full right lock into that wheel as he was almost going to hit that 20 car again. Looks like some secondary problems slightly ahead. We'll take a look at that as well, of course. Bryson Clark being involved as well. We'll go ahead and rewind just a little bit. See if we can figure out what happened between the 73 and the 41, a little further after this incident. It's like the 41 might have just drifted up the racetrack a little bit too far, seeing almost making contact with the right or left front of the 73. Just was not quite clear, so the 41 across the nose of the 73. Ooh, good car control there by Clark, able to keep that thing out from the wall, and other than a little bit of damage on the right front, that truck's still looking pretty good. We'll be able to continue on. Most of the field has come down for 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and I'm sure some fuel. Maybe just fuel. Track position, very important here at Pocono, so some drivers maybe not taking that chance of losing too much track position. But I tell you, the man who didn't lose any track position, Mr. Bradley Murphy, elects to stay out through this first caution, so he will inherit the lead when we go back to green flag racing. Some new paint on that number 18 as well, carrying the banner for Great Lakes Racing. Like we'll see Bennett Allen peel off, I think, gonna top off that fuel tank. His turnaround turbos teammates in the back will follow suit as well. They're gonna come down, take another splash of fuel in those tanks before we go green flag racing again. Anticipating another green flag run. Bradley Murphy going to elect to take that outside lane for the restart as the leader. Max Baumann will be starting to his inside with Dusty Martin in P3, Crank Bell in P4. Dusty up 8 spots so far today, so big gains out of the number 35. Was able to keep it clean and pick his way through that wreck back on lap number 6. So Dusty looking to have a pretty solid run here at Pocono today. Lights are out on the pace truck. We'll be taking the green flag next time by. Still waiting on the rest of the field who came down for a splash of fuel to catch up to the lead pack here. There they are, Bennett Allen. Looks like I see Terry and Devin just behind. We'll have everyone stacked up and ready for this restart here on lap number 9, going to lap number 10 as we hit the start-finish line. All right, we're going to be back to green flag racing here at Pocono. Through the first corner, it's Murphy hanging tight on that lead spot with Baumann looking to clear Crank Bell for second. Bell with help from his teammate behind. Has a good run on that outside lane, but it's going to be Baumann claiming that spot through turn 2. Now down towards turn 3. It's Murphy clear by 5 car lengths. Baumann second, trying to hold off the duo for Longshot Motorsports, Crank Bell and Dusty Martin. Bennett Allen wasting no time getting back towards this top 5, and that he does on lap number 1. Back up to 5th position for number 15. Surprising breakaway for Murphy. We haven't seen anyone be able to clear the field just yet, but he's able to on slightly older tires, no less, so everyone else probably taking notes that after those 7 laps of green flag, or 6 laps of green flag racing, really not too much fall off on these Goodyear tires. Despite the high cornering loads on the right sides because of how flat this racetrack is. Allen now working on Dusty Martin for that 5th spot. He's going to get by. Move Allen up to 4th. Now has his sights on Crank Bell. Bell's going to go defensive to the inside and gets a run on Baumann for that 2nd spot. He's got the edge through turn 1, but Baumann hanging tight on that outside lane. We'll see who's got the advantage coming down the first backstretch here at Pocono. Baumann with the momentum advantage. Looks like he'll clear before turn 3 with draft help off of the back of that 18 car. Down to the corner, Allen not quite able to clear. It's going to be tight coming off the corner here. Both drivers keeping it nice and tidy. You see the 14 bobbling just a little bit, trying to give space. Fortunately, that's going to cost him a little momentum, but the 15 pounds still not able to clear. Now he's going to have to loop it around the outside of turn number 3, and down the front stretch they go. He's going to complete that pass on the 14 from the outside, using that momentum off the corner. He's going to clear for 3rd. Now has his sights set on the 2 leaders ahead. Bell's passed, but he's not given up yet. Now closing right back up in the back of the 15. Half a car length now separating the two. I don't think Bell's quite done with Allen yet. He's staying right there on that bumper. Both of them making up ground on the leaders. Dirty air going to play a little bit of a factor as we see Frank Bell struggling to keep that car off the wall on the exit of turn 3. Taking off that front downforce impacts the handling of these race trucks significantly. Look at the entry. That number 15 truck really rolling the entry a little bit better than everyone else. Able to just keep it, send it just a little bit deeper. Not by much, but maybe an extra 5 feet deeper in the corner. We see him make up on entry, and that's been able to get him positioned to the inside of the car in front on several occasions now. They think they have him cleared just enough to be able to close the door and still take that wide arc into the corner, but he's been able to show them wrong every single time and able to sneak that nose to the inside. He does just that for Max Baumann. Baumann back to third. Allen now up to second. Making headway on the 18. I think everyone feeling a little more secure about their fuel situation now. I think we're a little more racy than we were just a short time ago. I do apologize if there's a little bit of a choppiness to the broadcast tonight. We've got some storms in the area that has been affecting some of the stability of the internet in the region, so might see a few little hiccups here and there, but overall it's looking like it's holding solid. Murphy still holding out up front, misses that corner just a little bit too far down that time. That's going to give the 15 a really good run out of turn 1. Now down to the tunnel turn they come. Single file all the way through the field, splitting now into 2 distinct packs. We see the 73, Bryson Clark, leading the second pack. That momentum has carried the 15 all the way to the bumper now. Just inches separate the two down into the third corner. Once again, the 18 going a little bit wide. The 15 down below that yellow line. No problem with that here at Pocono Raceway. Not able to clear. The 18 had the momentum on that outside lane. Allen tucks in line, trying to get that draft on the front stretch. Lost a little momentum there, but still just half a car length separates. Baumann now seeing pressure out of the 14 behind him. Overcharged corners a little bit. He's going to wash up the racetrack. Expect that to cost him just a little bit as we see his teammate, Dusty Martin, having a bit of a battle with Mike Stiverson for that 6th spot. Stiverson hanging onto that left rear quarter panel, able to stay there down through the tunnel turn. Will they come together coming off the turn? Oh, nice and tidy out of both drivers. 35 carries the momentum. They're still going to be side by side coming down to turn 3. That they are. Stiverson sends it to the inside, washes up a little bit. Some of that air gets taken off the nose in that corner. And that truck just wants to take off up the hill towards that outside wall. Side drafting hard on the back end of that 35 car, trying to keep him tucked in and close. Dives it down in turn 1. It's going to be Martin with the advantage. On the outside, though, momentum, but he's starting to wash up the hill. Gonna have to lift a little bit on exit. That's going to allow Stiverson to steal the deal. Move Mike Stiverson in that 20 truck up to P5. Still tight up front between the top 4, all nearly bumper to bumper. It's the 15 still trailing the 18 with 89 and 14 behind. Finally getting alongside. Here's the shot for Bennett Allen. Can he clear this time? The 18's been good around this second lane through turn 3. Has been able to get the momentum he needs to pass him back. But he got a little bit further along the door. I think the 15 is going to be able to side draft and stick with him this time. I spoke too soon. Look behind him. Here's Max Baumann side drafting, dumping dirty air on the spoiler of the 15, pulling him back to him. So he sucked his truck right off the back of the 18 and all the way back to third place. We'll see if Baumann can hang on to that momentum for second place, though. Off of turn 2, it looks like he might be able to. Side drafting really coming into play here as drivers start to get comfortable with how these trucks are going to treat them tonight. Oh, big send for the 20. Nearly misses the corner. Almost takes out the 14 of Bell. Big moment there for the 20. Going down to turn 3. Back here side by side. The 15 looking for the crossover. Really able to send it down in there. Will 89 have that momentum advantage again, though? We saw him get a great run out of 3 last lap. Looks like he's going to have that same momentum this time. All trucks staying in line for now. Will the 15 use that patented turn 1 entry to gain the extra momentum? Doesn't do it this time. Stays right in line with Murphy. Right in the tire tracks, but that's going to allow Baumann to catch up just a little bit. Now just inches off the bumper is Baumann in that third spot. They're single file first through third, separated by half a car length each. Quick shot for the lead down and through the tunnel turn. It's going to be the 15 out front in a massive send. He's able to clear Murphy all in one go. No messing around on the straightaways through turn 3. He's clear by 5 truck lengths. I don't know that anyone saw that coming. He pulled that out of his hat seemingly out of nowhere and carried massive momentum through the tunnel turn. Was able to just blow by the 18 like he was standing still. Quarter of the laps down here at Pocono Raceway. It's 89. Whoa! 89 gets a bit of a netcode shot, I believe, off the back of the 18. He touched the bumper and almost got shot backwards like a pinball. Right into the lap of the 14, who had to jab the brakes real quick to stay off him. Baumann fades to fourth as Bell goes by through turn 1 this time. Now down the back straight. It's Allen by about 8 car lengths over Murphy now, with Bell trailing and gaining very rapidly behind. Turn 2 is where it gets really tricky, and the 14 has to hang the back end out to keep that truck off the outside wall. That's going to give Baumann another shot at that third spot. Looks like Baumann will clear through turn 3. It's going to be Bell with the crossover possibly coming out of the corner. Bell with a big slide out of turn 3. Now going to be sized up by the number 20. Looking to make a move into 1, but he's not quite going to send it. He's going to run a lane lower, tuck it to the inside, but expect that 14 to get the run off the corner, especially with the draft help off of the 89 of Baumann. Bell holds station for now. Baumann now going after the 18 of Murphy, and it's still Allen out front by about a half a second. Told you there'd be no shortage of passing here, and there has not been. Back and forth they go. Now Bell getting a little bit of help from the 20. He's able to get his way by using that momentum into the corner. Was not able to clear, though. Baumann with that outside momentum is able to clear down before turn 1. Now the 20 takes another look. He gets a run on Bell. He's going to take a look to the inside into turn 1. Can he make it stick this time? Very similar situation as last lap. Stuyvesant sending it all the way to the bottom. He's going to clear Bell this time for the 4th spot. Take a little bit of a gander back further in the field. Kind of in no man's land is Dusty Martin in that 35, hanging out between the two packs. We got Terry Silvers and Bryson Clark under fire from everybody, it seems. And a bit of a melee here between all these trucks. Saw 2 wide, several rows deep for just a moment. Like Tanner Whitt might have lost out in that battle. Saw him maybe lift off the throttle a bit coming off the corner there. Not wanting to endanger that number 88 truck, only being a quarter way through this race. Devin Gentry in the 12 looking to make a move on the 73. He's got momentum down the front stretch. Not going to be quite close enough to make an attempt to turn 1. We'll see what he can do off of the corner and down towards the tunnel turn. Good exit for the 12 out of turn 1. He's going to get the run down at the tunnel turn. Shows the nose to the inside. Sticks it to the inside, but looks like it might be the 73 with the momentum, and also going to have help from the 38, who had a massive run coming out of the tunnel turn. Miller able to clear Gentry for that spot, move him up to P9. Bryson Clark, P8. Terry Silvers was beginning to catch Dusty Martin just a little bit for that 6th position. I think that'll be a battle here in a couple laps. Martin starting to get reeled in by the draft down the front straight. Silvers to the inside, heading down toward tunnel turn. It looks like a little bit wide for that 35. Maybe starting to feel a little bit of punishment on that right front tire. Dusty Martin fades back to 7th, still up 4 positions since the drop of the green flag tonight. Back up inside the top 5. It's still 4 cars under a blanket for 2nd through 6th. Sorry, 2nd through 5th. Be Max Bauman here. We got 2 by 2. Bauman shutting the door on the 18. He was clear, but I don't think the 18 had any intention of lifting to accommodate that move. Massive save by Bauman. Good driving by the 20 to be able to stay off him as well. Bauman still trying to stay in it, but a big shot from the 14 puts the 18 past him. Ooh, 18. Spun down to the inside to make a little bit of contact with that pit lane wall. Don't really see any damage. Very light contact on that truck. No damage seen on that 18, but he's going to go ahead and send that thing down pit lane. Got really loose and checked up in front of Bell, and Bell just really had nowhere to go. 18 was in his lap, and he got turned off the nose of the 14. So Bauman able to claim that position now, so he's running 2nd with Crank Bell and Mike Stuyvesant's Ram 1500 both behind. Take a ride along with Crank Bell for just a moment as they navigate the tricky triangle. Bell really been a fan of the crossover lately, taking that wide arc into turn 3, cutting down for a late apex, and then using that momentum off the corner to try to make the pass. Might be wearing out that right front tire just a little bit with that aggressive cut. However, we also want to keep an ear out for what these cars are sounding like down in turn 3, because down in turn 3, it's very, very slow corner compared to the other two, and occasionally you'll see some shifting down to third gear at this racetrack to try to get that momentum off the corner and also kind of change the balance of rotation in these cars. Use a little more of that right rear tire instead of the right front tire through this corner. Doesn't sound like the RPMs are quite low enough yet. Usually if you see that happen, it's toward the end of the run when the tires just aren't hanging on, so those corner speeds are at an absolute low point for that run. Bauman was ahead by a few car lengths, just can't escape that draft pull at the 20s, able to get off the rear bumper. The only one who has so far at 15, able to put a 2.5-second gap on this battle for second, which I'm sure is largely due to the swapping of positions. These three kind of perpetually slowing each other down. Back here in this battle, it's Devin Gentry making up a few spots. He had fallen behind after a pass attempt on the 73 not too long ago. Now he's able to clear Witt and Miller for that 6th position. So kind of out of nowhere, the 12 has found a good bit of speed on the track. He's able to clear this battle. Now it's just Witt and Miller left to contend for this 7th position. Witt hangs on for now, running that absolute bottom lane through turn 3. Sorry, that'll be the tunnel turn, not turn 3. Now we're down to turn 3. Miller trailing, both with very similar lines through the corner. Bit of a wiggle for the 38. That's going to cost him some momentum down the large front straightaway. All three Long Shot Motorsports drivers going to hit pit lane this time by here on lap number 33. They'll be expecting to pit one more time before the conclusion of the race. They're going to go ahead and short pit by a little bit, see what that gets them as things fan out over the course of the green flag pit stops. Front, this gap actually closing just a little bit. Maybe some fuel saving out of the 15, not quite sure. He should have just about the most fuel in the field, other than the fact he hasn't been running behind any other race cars over the course of this run, as we've seen so many of the other drivers doing. So he's just full throttle all the time out front. Now that gap down from 2.3 seconds to 1.3 as we come across lap number 34. Out of 80 here tonight. right, the rest of the lead pack coming down pit lane now here on lap number 35. We see Allen, followed by Bauman and Stiverson. Gentry joining them as well to turn around turbo teammates, the 15 and the 12. Very quick pit stop for the 20. We'll see if he can beat Bauman off of pit lane. It will be close. Looks like he does. Move. They move him up one spot. 20 did have the position before they came in to serve that pit stop. Yeah, it's going to be Paul Turner leading the lap out front in his number 5 Mopar truck. He'll collect that bonus point, and we'll see if he comes in next time by. We saw his long shot motorsport teammates take the pit lane first out of this round of pit stops. Looks like the 5's keeping it out there and slinging it on old tires for now. See just how long he can go. Fastest lap of the day so far is Terry Silvers, just running a 55.66. Just beating out the 55.67 of Crank Bell. Turner stays out one more lap. It's a battle for what will be first place in just a moment. Right now, Bell's going to have that advantage. He's getting the run on Murphy down the front stretch, clears down into turn 1. Taking a look at how those long shot motorsport drivers are running currently. Paul Turner, by way of staying out through this round of pit stops so far, currently running P1, Crank Bell P2, Bryson Clark in P6, and Dusty Martin runs P10 after that round of pit stops. Shaping up to be a pretty solid day for Longshot Motorsports. We'll see what they can do to what has been a very hard to beat Great Lakes Racing. And that number 18, Bradley Murphy. We'll go and check in on Great Lakes Racing. Zach Miller and Bradley Murphy, the only two in the race this week. Connell Bolton sits out until Nashville Fairgrounds next week. Really running P3 and P12. Zach Miller losing out big through that round of pit stops. Had seen him as high as 7th place at one point in that last run, but loses quite a bit of track position through the course of those pit stops. Bauman now entering the picture in this battle for second. Battle for third, as Crank Bell's actually gapped these three. This is the battle for third position, what will be third position once Turner comes in. Murphy hanging onto that middle lane, trying to keep that momentum up. Worked well for him through the first run. Back behind to see the gap back to Allen, who's fallen off this lead group just a little bit. Allen with 56 seconds total in pit lane time, so maybe a little bit of a missed pit stop. Might have missed his box just a little bit. Actually, a longer overall stop than the rest of the trucks. It looks like he was in this pit box for a total of 19.8 seconds compared to the 15.8 average for the rest of the field. Bit of a non-standard stop for the 6. Let's put him back. It hurts a little more this time because he's going to have to catch a bunch of trucks who have drafting help. By himself, kind of no man's land between this lead pack and the second pack. Now the 89 has caught the leader. That'll be Paul Turner on old tires, and Crank Bell's already done away with him for that second spot. So Crank Bell to lead. Paul Turner currently getting passed for second by Max Baumann. The 20 of Stiverson is going to follow him through. 18 will cut down and follow the 20 through as well. Not quite going to get clear, though. Lost some momentum taking that far inside lane. Still side by side down to the tunnel turn. All right, turn 3, now the tunnel turn. Back onto the front stretch, 18 able to clear. That's going to cost him some track position, though. Loses about 5 car lengths to the back end of the 20. Now putting the move on the 89 to turn 1. Inside Stiverson, outside lane, Baumann. Stiverson able to clear. Baumann cuts down, looking for the crossover. He does not have the momentum to do it. Move Mike Stiverson up to P2. Back behind them, don't look now, but it's the 15 already making the move on Bradley Murphy for that 4th spot. He's got a head of steam coming down to the tunnel turn. You know just how good he is here. Going to get a good run down through to turn 3. We'll look and keep an eye on that gap, which is closing very, very quickly. 1 second currently the gap between him and Baumann. Look at that absolute low line, almost down to the rumble strips through turn 3 on fresh tires for the number 15. Taking advantage of every bit of racetrack possible. Gap continues to shrink 1 second as they cross the line. Now down to 0.75 seconds, shaved off a quarter second just through turn 1. .7 still the gap as they head down to the tunnel turn. Max Baumann just ahead, falling off the back bumper, that 20 just a little bit. It looks like Stiverson has figured things out here as we pass through the midway of the race here on lap number 42, making some steam here in that number 20 Ram pickup. Right now, it's still the man on point, Crank Bell in the number 14, leading the way. He's had some speed here at Pocono. Looking like maybe a shot to win, but I really don't know who to tell you out of any of these top 5 drivers. It's been really close the whole race. Like some of them might need to set aside some competition for sake of staying ahead of the rest. Saw the battle between the top 3 on the last run cost him track position to the leader as they leapfrogged back and forth for that second position. It allowed the 15 to just start setting sail away from them, the tune of 2.5 seconds over the course of the run. I think they'll be keeping a mental note of that if they know what's good for them. Currently not close enough to even contend with each other as the 20 has been able to pull away from the 89, and the 14 has been able to pull half a second lead on the rest of the field. Bennett Allen starting to close in even more, now down to 0.3 seconds to the rear bumper of Max Baumann's Ford. Now back towards turn 2, down to the tunnel turn they go. 3 car lengths separates as they head to the tunnel turn. We'll watch the momentum shift. Look at just how good the 15 gets through this corner. Dirty air is going to affect that a little bit. Not able to get as low as he might like, but still carries good momentum. Closes that gap to 2 truck lengths. Down to turn 3. Watch him take this ultra low line. He's going to dip those left side tires down below the yellow line. A little bit too wide that time. Gets a little piece and just kisses the outside wall of the back end of that race truck. Going to lose that ground now. About 3.5 car lengths back from Baumann. Baumann actually catching the lead, as is the 20. Yeah, all the cars together seem to magnetize to each other. Once two cars get together, they catch the leader, and once the leader's caught, the leader tends to get shuffled back. See if he does get shuffled back or if he's able to hold on. It's Stuyvesant down to the inside to the tunnel turn. Inside, he'll clear the 14. Will he slam the door coming off? We'll be looking for a crossover out of Bell. That's not going to happen this time. He sticks to the outside line, keeps that momentum going. Oh, contact between second and third. That's going to cost momentum for the 15 and the 14. Bauman looking to take advantage. It's like he wasn't quite sure. Allen wasn't quite sure which lane the 14 was going to go with. I think a miscalculation on both drivers there. Maybe didn't anticipate the 14 go to the inside. We saw the 14 Poconos to the inside of the 20 down in the entry of turn 3, and I think 15 was looking to pull out a line to pass the 14 at the same time, and that combination kind of pulled them both together. What that does do is hand the lead to Mike Stuyvesant. Oh, as Crank Bell goes around. Bell goes around off turn 2, collects the 15. Caution flag is going to fly. Allen still wrecks. He just collected, I believe, Terry Silvers. Silvers with a massive hit as the 15 came back across the racetrack. Front end is destroyed on that number 69. You had been running a fairly good race. He'd been running just outside the top 5, around 6th and 7th the whole day. Of course, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our replay, see exactly what just transpired. It looks like the 14 might have had some help, but didn't quite see it. We'll rewind just a little bit and find out for sure, of course. Really no love lost between these two after that previous lap incident. Looks like the 15 really sends it down in there. Keeping an eye on these two race trucks right here on your screen. Coming down through this corner, look at the 15 down at the bottom, gets the momentum. I think the 14 maybe having to lift a little bit. And another slight misjudgment. You see the 15, boom, make a little bit of contact there off the exit. Gets the 14 sideways, gets on the brake, kind of tries to straighten him out. You see he accelerates into the left front. I think straightens the 14 out, saves him from spinning, but in the process, gets himself out of sorts. And we look at the results here. Spinning down, gets it saved, then it snaps again, and I think right here, Terry Silver's just nowhere to go as the 15 spins back across the racetrack. So that'll be two pretty good race trucks with significant damage. It's like back and front damage for the 15. And some pretty decent right front damage as well. We see that right front tire poking out, and judging by the back and forth wiggling in the front end, I'm going to guess some steering damage as well. So right around just past the halfway point, we'll see if this puts the 15 out of contention. I think Silvers will be done for the day. It looks like that truck's actually surprisingly still driving after the severity of that impact. Looks like Silvers will elect to retire that race truck. So he will keep that 12th position for the night. Bennett Allen on pit lane, as is Bryson Clark, both with extensively long pit stops. I think Clark might be getting some damage repair from the previous wreck he was involved in under the first caution. Don't think he was involved in that recent caution. Back in the field, it's the number 20. He's going to come down and top off the tank on his truck. Paul Turner's going to look to stay out again on his alternate pit strategy. We saw him pit a lot later than everybody else last run, staying out about 10 more laps, give or take. It's like his last pit was lap 42. We're currently crossing through to lap 48, I believe. So Stuyvesant going to top off in pit lane. Actually going to take full service, it looks like. 4 tires and fuel for the number 20, taking no chances. Gentry down, coming off of pit lane as well. On lap 48, looks like they're trying to pack those trucks as full of fuel as possible to make it to the end. Your clutch in, coasting his way down the back straight, so fuel savings in mind for those turned around turbos drivers. Up front, we've got Paul Turner, Max Baumann, Tanner Witt making his first appearance inside the top 4. He'll be rolling off in P4 with Bradley Murphy in the 18 to his inside. He'll be going green this time by. Lights are off on that iRacing.com pace truck. As they run, Dusty Martin back in that 5th position with Zach Miller in 6th, Frank Bell in 7th, and the number 73, Bryson Clark in P8. Down to the green flag, to that Pocono restart zone they come. It's the 5 firing off first. Side by side down the front stretch. We'll see who gets the jump. It looks like it's going to be Baumann with the help on the outside. Good shove from the 88 on the initial jump. We'll see if he's able to clear through 1 and 2. They're still side by side. 5 has a nose inside, down on that bottom lane. Max Baumann with big momentum on that outside lane. That's going to let him clear by 3 car lengths for the lead, tailed by Tanner Witt, who follows him through on the outside. It's going to be the 5, sliding quite a ways back. Now back to 4th. It's very, very close quarters for the 35 and the 88 there, down through the tunnel turn. Thought maybe we'd have a moment there for a second. Maybe an inch separated the front bumper of the 35 from the 88. Looks like the 35 rolling the center just a little bit better. Then Witt. We see the 20 coming down pit lane yet again. Not sure what's going on with Stuyvesant there, going from the lead, now pitting for a 3rd time. Big wash up from the 5. Paul Turner having struggles with the handling on that number 5 on this restart. Tires just not quite what he needs them to be. Not a whole lot of wear, just 5 laps difference between his tires and the rest of the field. They're going to go 3 wide. As the 15 of Allen slings it to the outside. Still has a little bit of aero damage on that 15, but he's not letting that slow him down. Still able to cut his way through by several cars. Puts the 18 back to the 8th position. He's currently running 7th with sights set on the 6th place at Frank Bell. Not having to go evasive. It looks like the 73 might have tagged the wall just a little bit in front of him. He kind of followed suit. Zach Miller with big gains this restart. He's up to P4. Dusty Martin had been working in the back end of the 88, but now the 88 is starting to gap himself from 3rd place and trying to run down the leader of Max Baumann in that number 89. Things are starting to string out single file just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and crank things up just a little bit here in Boom Tube country. Take in some of the sights and sounds of truck racing here at Pocono Raceway. Bowen's still out front by about 3.5 to 4 car lengths over the second place Tanner Whitney 88. Dusty Martin still hanging on for that third spot, starting to close his way back in on the back of that 88 for second place. That battle still developing. It's single file, first through 8th on the racetrack. Crank Bell last in line of this group. Seemed to tuck out a line just a few times already, trying to work on a pass for this 18. Just hasn't had the momentum off the corner to make it stick. We saw him pop out a line on the front straight last time by. 18 just had a little bit too strong of a draft off the 15 of Allen in front. Kind of pulling him just out of reach of the 14 that time. Bell looks to make it happen again. 18 of Murphy's going to throw that block into turn 1. Look for the pass on Allen. Allen's struggling to get around the 73 of Clark. This traffic hampering everyone's efforts as everyone's starting to come together. Whew, very tight there coming off turn 1. Had been 3 wide for a second, but the 18 backed out of it just a little bit. Didn't want to be involved in any more trouble, as this is already not where he wants to find himself at this stage in the race. More than likely, he's been running in that top 3 for the majority of the day. Now finds himself back in 7th position, trying to tiptoe his way through traffic without ruffling any feathers. And he makes his way by the 73 of Clark. That'll move him up to that 6th position. Allen still leading the charge through the field just in front of him. Now has his sights set on Zach Miller for the 4th position. Miller missing turn 1 just a little bit. He's going to wash up the racetrack, giving space for the 15. They're going to be side by side heading down to turn 2. Momentum favoring the 38, but the 15 side drafting, trying to pull him back to him. Not quite going to be able to do that. He'll tuck in line down through the tunnel turn, try to make another attempt down to turn 3. Big loose moment there in the middle of the corner for the 38. That's going to give opportunity for Allen. He's got momentum, and he'll clear on his way down to the final corner. Some aero damage on this 15 hasn't seemed to hamper his ability to make passes at all. You see that rear spoiler still just a little bit pushed down in the middle. A little bit of right rear damage to that number 15 Ford, but has not really affected him too much. Was able to get mostly patched up. Allen up to P4, now working on Martin. Witt takes over the lead from Bauman, so 88 is going to lead for the first time possibly this season. I think they might have led back at Daytona, perhaps. 88's been searching for the front a long time, and here he's going to lead a lap at Pocono Raceway, now out in front of Bauman, Allen, and Dusty Martin. Bauman looks for that inside lane. Didn't quite have the momentum to get there. Now he's pushing the 88, trying to create some separation for the two, staying out of reach of Allen in that 15. I think trying to make a little bit of a two-car breakaway. He knows they might have to work together to stay ahead. Oh, as the 15 goes around. Allen goes around. It's a single-car spin, but will bring out the iRacing caution here on lap number 58. Closing in nearly 20 to go. Should see that 20 to go by the time we take the green flag again. But second bit of trouble this 15's been in. Definitely not helping his chances too much. Looks like got some more rear damage to that 15 through the spin. We'll go ahead and take a look at our boom tube replay and try to figure out just what happened. We're going to take a look at the 15 truck right here and hopefully deduce exactly what happened coming into the corner. Down inside, plenty of separation between himself and the 18. Ooh, spoke too soon. It's like they come together mid-corner, just door banged by the 18, possibly coming down. We'll go ahead and rewind and kind of keep an eye on what lanes they're both running. It might have been both of them, a bit of a just coming together of both of those race trucks. We'll go ahead and hit our chase cam, keeping an eye on this gap right here between these two race trucks. Down to the slow motion replay cam. 18 comes up a little bit. 15 is coming down. You see him making progress on that inside lane just a little bit. So, bit of a, I would call it a racing incident. 18 gets tight. 15 has a bit of a dive down to the bottom of the racetrack. They both come together, and that's the result. Pretty significant rear end damage to the 15 this time. Looks like left rear, right rear, some center spoiler damage. So he'll be looking to get that fixed up. Because aerodynamics, as we've seen today, definitely do count here at Pocono, where side drafting and just aerodynamic efficiency is important on these draggy race trucks. Back out front, still Tanner Witt on point. For our third caution of the afternoon, down to pit road they come. Here comes the entire field this time. Oh, spoke too soon. There goes the 20. He's going to hang a hard right with his race truck. And inherit the lead through this round of pit stops. We'll see who comes out on top. All those who do come down pit lane, it's going to be the 88 leading them down. We'll see what the order does as everybody hits the pit boxes. Down and off pit road, 88 gets off the jacks first. It looks like he'll just clear Bauman for that second spot. Off of pit lane. Very hard to tell between Bauman and Martin just who happened to get out first. For now, iRacing saying Martin had the advantage. Looks like Stuyvesant will come down this time by. So coming off pit lane through this round of pit stops, it'll be Witt maintaining that lead. Dusty Martin sneaks through to take over second place from Max Bauman. Bradley Murphy moves up to P4. Zach Miller retains that spot in P5. Devin Gentry gains a couple of spots on this round of pit stops as well. He'll come out in P6. right, starting to the inside lane is going to be Tanner Witt. Dusty Martin to the outside as a pace truck pulls off to pit lane. And we get set to go racing once again with 20 laps to go at Pocono. It's like the 88 waited a little bit too long in that restart box. That gave the advantage to the 35. Dusty Martin clears for the lead. Out front is Dusty Martin. For second, it's 88 and 89. Witt and Bauman. Witt to the outside. Bauman working the inside lane. No help for Bauman in the draft field, but behind the 88 is 18 and 12, pushing hard on the back bumper, helping him through. Bauman falls all the way back to 5th after that restart. He's going to have a tall task ahead of him, trying to get back up as the top 3 continue to sail away from him as the 12 cuts across for the 4th spot. Bauman now settles in that 5th position. Gonna have to work his way back forward. Right now it's still Martin out front, Witt and Murphy tag teaming for second, both helping each other down this very long pond straightaway. Murphy takes the move to the inside. It's Witt to the outside, third turn 1. Witt with the advantage, but Murphy still holding station alongside, trying to side draft the 88. Doesn't have the momentum. He's clear by half a car length. Gentry also inserting himself into this conversation as well in that 4th position. Closed right back up to the bumper of the 18 for a moment. Lost a little bit through the tunnel turn, as the 88 of Witt is able to catch the 35 for the lead. No one able to claw their way away from the other trucks. Everybody nose to tail through the field. A little bit of contact with the outside wall for the 89. That time by, just barely scraped that outside wall. He's pushing hard in the back bumper of the 12. Bit of tandem drafting going on throughout the field. We saw 2nd and 3rd working together to catch the 35 of Martin, now 3rd and 4th. Gentry and Bauman working together in their 4s to catch that 2nd place battle. Down through turn 2, single file. Bauman sneaks a nose to the inside of the 12. 12 getting assistance from Crank Bell in the 14th, though, 14 though, but not quite able to push him clear of Bauman. Behind Bauman, the 15 already finding his way forward in the field. It's Bennett Allen up to P7 after that rear end damage last time. Bringing out that last caution. Very, very tight battle here, 4th through 8th positions on the racetrack. It's still Dusty Martin clear out front by 5 car lengths. Then Tanner Witt followed 2 car lengths further back by Murphy. Behind them, side-by-side battle for that 4th spot. Crank Bell's looking to make waves here inside the top 5. Couldn't quite make the pass happen on Gentry. He's going to have to tuck in line and try again as they come through turn 3. That high entry we've seen him use. Now he's going to cut down to the bottom of the corner. He's looking for that big run off turn 3 down the long pond straightaway, trying to close up that half a car length gap to the 12. Doesn't quite have the steam to get there before turn 1. Gonna back off slightly again. Rolls real easy through the first part of the corner. Now hard on the throttle coming off the corner is Crank Bell. Still not able to generate the run as the 12 is locked on the back bumper of the 18, trying to push him up. Maybe making a move, to make a move on the 88 of Witt. Oh, teammates come together. It's the 15 and the 12. The 12 just able to save it. Good driving by everyone involved. Unfortunately, being stopped on the racetrack is going to bring out that caution. They definitely did not want to move with all the cars around. Still trying to navigate their way by, though. Great Bit of driving there for the 12, not to have it snap around on him and back it into the fence. And Gentry able to keep that race truck clean. After being tapped by his teammate in the 15, we can go ahead and take a look at that. Probably not too happy with his teammate after that one. I'm sure the conversation will be had and maybe words will be exchanged. 15 just gets a big run, takes a bad look to the inside, washes up into the door of the 12. And wow, was that a close call. Take a look and rewind just a little bit. Look at how close the gaps are between these race trucks. We'll see if we can get a look off the back end of that 12 truck and very slowly work our way by. The 5 barely clears. The 73 barely clears. Good heads-up driving by both of them, who looked like they were going to try to go to the inside, but had to switch it up at the last second to take a hard right and avoid the spinning 12. Dusty Martin still leading the way here at Pocono. He's up 10 spots from the start of this race. Has been able to check out the last few laps and kind of make his own pace at the front of the field. Tanner Witt, Bradley Murphy have been drafting behind him, kind of a two-car tango behind him, trying to catch up. But haven't been able to make that pass happen just yet. Like driver 35 has this thing figured out pretty good, but there's a lot of fast, a lot of hungry drivers behind him trying to take advantage of the trouble that's happened for the number 15 so far this race. It's like Bryson Clark going to hit pit lane. I think Allen's going to pit probably to fix yet a little more body damage, just keeping his body guy in the shop secure in his employment. Taking a peek at our timing and scoring, looking for the best lap of the race. Everybody improving their times down into the 55-second range. So far, it's looking like Bennett Allen has claimed that top speed with a 55.48. But as we see, speeds improved pretty much every run so far. Let's see if that changes this time. Although the leaders don't have fresh tires this time by everybody. Besides the 12 and 15, electing to stay out in this round of pit stops. It's like we will go green with just 10 laps to go, I believe. Yep, lights are out on the pace truck. We'll go green with 10 laps to go here at Pocono Raceway. The tricky triangle has claimed a few drivers already, but we've got a lot of drivers still in it and a lot of competitive pace all the way throughout the top 10. It's still anybody's race here with just 10 laps, 15 miles to go here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Beautiful backdrop for some great racing here in the Pocono Mountains. Pocono tends to deliver on great racing just about every year in reality, and we're seeing the same be true here for the Thursday Night Nitro Truck Series. Great driving all the way through the field. Has seen some little incidents here and there, but still some great evasiveness and heads-up driving on a lot of these guys, and great saves and pretty good skill seen all throughout the field. Driver's going to feel this out a little bit. Rubber's going to get picked up here under the caution flag, so maybe that inside lane not going to be quite as useful as it normally would be. We've got the 35 going to keep that outside lane that worked for him really well in the last restart. It'll be Tanner Witt starting to his inside with Crank Bell and Bradley Murphy behind in row 2. Drivers drop it down to second gear, get ready to wind these things up, maybe for the last time here at Pocono. Pace truck pulls off. It's the 35 leading him to the green flag. He gets a big shot from his teammate in the 14. They're both going to slip by the 88 out front. Everyone getting up to speed. It's the 35, the 14, the 88, the top three, but we've got the 18 looking to the inside. Inside lane hasn't worked on lap 1 so far. Let's see if Bradley Murphy can change that. Tucks in line behind the 88 for now. He's going to get a push from the 38 down toward the tunnel turn. Miller having a look, but not able to get the nose inside the 18. 18's got that momentum off the corner. Tanner Witt closing in on this battle for a second. He gets a nose inside Bell for the second place. Turn 3. It's Witt to the inside, Bell to the outside. Bell's going to have the momentum advantage if he can keep that truck off the fence. Bit of a moment there. Good space given by both drivers. Still side by side, screaming down turn 1 towards turn 1, but it's going to be Bradley Murphy giving the 14 a big shove down the straightaway as 88's left hanging on the inside. Bauman now slings it around the outside through 1 and 2. He's going to get up in the bumps. He's going to have a time keeping that truck off the fence, and he gives it a kiss on the exit of the corner. Not the first time, nor the last time we'll see it this race. Now he's trying to complete that pass in the 88 Witt, who just cannot get his momentum back after losing out, running for that second spot. Outside lane, just nose to tail. Everyone trickling right on by as 89 takes a big look down to the inside of the 18 through turn 3. Almost a little bit of contact. Oh, there is contact coming off the corner. Murphy running out of space. Remember, these two have history so far this race. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe they weren't too pleased with each other. Maybe a little rivalry going on. 15 of Allen launches that truck down into turn 1 underneath the 18. History there too, as we saw not too many laps ago. Allen has to tuck in line in front of Bauman in the 89. It's going to be Murphy in the 3rd, Crank Bell in 4th, but Dusty Martin still leading the way by a car length and a half out front. Bell starting to close on Martin. He hasn't been able to make that move just yet. Right now, I think playing a little bit of defense on the 18. Allen sends it deep into turn 3 once again. We've seen that aggression get the best of him. Oh, and the 88 goes around off the door of the 89, back further in the field. That's going to bring out the caution flag. The 88 had been doing fantastic. It looks like several trucks coming together, coming off the turn, taking a look at the 88 and the 89. These two trucks on the outside lane as they come off the final corner. Like 89 gets into the fence, bounces off the fence into the nose of the 89 and just shoots him down towards the inside wall. 88, sorry, of Witt just couldn't quite recover. Almost got there. Just gets tagged a little bit extra by the 38. Little bit of left front contact. I don't see too much damage on that race truck, though. I think he might be able to continue without issue. Maybe a little bit of a crease on that left front. But with the number of laps remaining, I don't know how much it's going to cost him because he's still got enough tire to make up for that. maybe some more intense contact than we thought. Looks like 88 is going to jump to pits rather than cycling back around and taking that pit stop normally. Although it looks like he was still under power. Looks like 88 is going to retire the truck for the evening, actually. As we cycle around under the caution, it'll still be the 35 of Martin out front. Teammate Crank Bell behind in the 14, and Bradley Murphy in third position, and Bennett Allen in the 15 has found his way back through the field again. Bryson Clark having a pretty good go of things. We saw him pit on the last caution. That relegated him to the back of this pack, but now is up to P5. Like Bauman will pit and possibly take a little bit of repair on that number 89 to that right side after that contact with the turn 3 wall. Miller in as well. Alternative had been running a ways behind earlier on this race, and now he's a threat for the top 5. Finds himself in 6th position, further reinforcing that what has turned out to be a dominant day for Longshot Motorsports. We got running 1 and 2 currently, with the 73 and the 5 running 5th and 6th. So it'll be a great points day for that team, no matter how things shake out. Should close some ground on the team championship standings. Cycle will be coming to green with about 3 laps to go here at Pocono Raceway. With 35 in the 14, they're going to have to start side by side this time. They won't be able to help each other out. It'll be teammate versus teammate. We'll see who's able to come out on top. We've seen speed out of both of them all day long. That 35's been pretty good at holding that lead so far. We'll see who gets help. I think that second lane might dictate what happens in this race. Keep in mind, there's also a long bit of racetrack before turn 1 where you can spread out quite a few cars wide. So I wouldn't be just surprised maybe to see that 18 take a bold move to the inside of Crank Bell to make that 3 wide for the lead. But we haven't seen that inside lane work great, but if you're 3 wide, you might be able to push that outside car far enough up the racetrack to make him a non-factor and still get yourself a position. We'll see how it plays out. We got looks like we're going to green this time by. Lights are out on the pace truck. 35 car on the outside. Dusty Martin will lead him to the green flag here Well, it looks like it'll be 2 to go here at Pocono Raceway, so looking at a green-white checkered finish. Should we keep that green flag to the end? Down through turn 3, we'll see the pace truck pull off in just a moment. Drivers get set nose to tail. 10 trucks here at the end, here to decide it at Pocono Raceway. Dusty Martin leads him to the green flag as a pace truck pulls off at Pocono. Good launch for Martin. Very slow start for the 14 on the inside. Bennett Allen with a massive jump. He's going to advance to P2. Leaving the 14 and the 18 absolutely in the dust. 35 out front. That 15's about to get a massive run coming off of turn 1, though. I think the 35 might have been mistaken to take that inside lane. That's going to allow the 15 to close up. He's got help from the 14 behind. Closing in, a little bit of contact there between the two. 4 laps to go here at Pocono, closing down to 3. Martin not going to be pleased with that. He's going to have to hope those long shot drivers don't catch up. Trying to break that draft. Goes down to the inside, down the Long Pond straightaway. Right now it's the 14 truck in that second position with the 35 running third. Single file first through 5th. It's the 14 slowly gaining down the straightaway on the 15. Does Crank Bell have what it takes to run down Bennett Allen for the race win? Teammate falling a little bit behind. Dusty Martin not able to keep pace. Identical lap times last time by for the top two. 55.47 last lap time. Also the fastest lap of the race. Frank Bell still runs second. Still gaining just the slightest bit of ground with that draft. Catching Bennett Allen for the lead. Through the tunnel turn, it's who can maintain the most momentum here as they come down to 3. Bell sent it really deep there. I think that might have cost him a little bit momentum overall. Is going to take a little bit wider line through turn 3. We'll see if he's able to get the momentum coming off the corner. Losing just a little bit. White flag is in the air. Bennett Allen the leader by 5 car lengths. Dusty Martin desperately hanging on for third as he's under attack from Murphy and Clark in 4th and 5th. Big gain down to turn 1. 14 followed that draft all the way down that front straightaway. Bennett Allen desperately trying to shake the draft of the 14, zigzagging all the way down the straightaways. It's a dogfight for first. Now car length and a half for the 14. Can he make it stick through turn 3? One more chance for Crank Bell. Down to the inside, sends it deep in. Now the gap 1 car length, but he's washing up the hill as the 15 puts dirty air on the nose. Not going to be enough for Bell. It's going to be Bennett Allen claiming victory at Pocono Raceway, followed by Crank Bell. Dusty Martin hangs on for third. Bryson Clark passes Murphy for the 4th spot. Luckily not making many friends today in the number 15, having made contact with many drivers throughout the field, but does come home with the victory at the tricky triangle to make number 7 on the season so far. But stay tuned. We'll have interviews with all 3 of the top drivers. And I suspect maybe we'll hear some commentary out of that 35 truck. All right, we'll go ahead and give a quick rundown of our race results. Of course, Bennett Allen taking that win, 22 laps led, leading the most important one as well, winning by 0.3 of a second over Crank Bell in second, Dusty Martin in third. In fourth place, Bryson Clark, so all three long shot motorsports drivers, second, third, and fourth. Bradley Murphy breaking up that group with fifth place over Paul Turner. And Max Bauman gained a couple spots after that late race restart that coming from the back of the field. He's going to finish 7th with Devin Gentry 8th. Mike Stiverson, P9. And Zach Miller rounding out the top 10. And the final of the cars still running on the racetrack. Total of 10 green flag lead changes. That'll be a high for several weeks now. Total of 5 cautions for 15 laps out of tonight's race. Dusty Martin, once again, the hard charge of the race. Dusty's got a way of working himself toward the front throughout the course of a race, and he did just that tonight. Plus 8 positions on the day. Most laps led going to Bennett Allen by actually a fairly slim margin, 22 laps overall. Fastest lap as well with 55.466, just a couple thousandths faster than Crank Bell in that second place. That about does it for our race results. We got interviews on deck with our drivers in just a minute. First of those being let's see, Mr. Dusty Martin. Mr. Dusty Martin in the 35 brings it home in P3 after leading a good handful of laps and having great speed throughout the whole day. I suspect he might have some words to say about the close of that race, but we'll go ahead and let him speak his mind on those last couple of laps. You had a great race, regardless, yourself and the rest of the team, but take us through those last few laps here at Pocono.
Yeah, Adam, I might just better keep my words to myself, be honest with you. No, it was started out kind of struggling first part of the day. Made our way up there through pit stops, just getting on and off of pit road really well. And once we got that clean air, man, the thing just became a rocket ship. I was really hoping that because we'd played the strategy, kind of hoping for a 2-stop to save a set at the end, and it was working out. We took fuel only on that first caution and just kind of, tried to save the tires after I figured out what I was doing wrong, entering the corners too hot and whatnot. But yeah, then that second caution took tires, and like I say, she came alive after that. But it was a good day. All in all, this is the I was telling my teammates, probably the angriest I've ever been about third place, but good points day nonetheless. So can't be too angry about it. I'll get over it by tomorrow.
Well, looking on the positive side of things, and good run, good momentum, heading, peaking at the right time, they might say, as we're heading towards the chase. Got a short track coming up next week. You haven't exactly been a slouch at those either, so guess what's your take going into next week at Nashville Fairgrounds? And it was kind of something new for everybody across the board. It's a bumpy old racetrack with a lot of character. It's very angry version of Bristol, I guess. But how you feeling about your odds there next week?
Oh man, I am super excited. I love short track racing. Matter of fact, shoot, in another league, we ran ARCA cars at Richmond and had an absolute blast. Besides plate racing, short track racing is probably a very close second for me. So feeling pretty good there. Got some had some pretty good runs at Nashville, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I like to hear that. Hear that energy and positivity going into the next race, and especially heading into the chase. And you're probably going to take over that second place position in points now that Kyle's retiring. So get yourself just that little bit closer to the top of the heap, and we'll see how that goes because we're starting at one of your better racetracks for the first race of the chase as well. And we know you guys have it pretty put together on the super speedways, so we'll expect you to go do pretty well there. As you normally would. So, kind of a good stretch of tracks for you heading into the first part of the chase. We'll see if you can carry this momentum the next couple weeks.
Absolutely, man. I am definitely looking forward to it. Like I say, Pocono is one of my worst racetracks, so a third place here, I keep having to remind myself, and potentially, almost having a chance to win. I can't complain at all. So looking forward to what we've got coming up for sure.
All right, solid day for Dusty Martin, leading quite a few laps here at Pocono, coming home with a solid P3 behind his teammate. Thanks for the time, Dusty.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, next up is runner-up finisher, driver the number 14 SRT Scat Pack Ram 1500. I honestly had you kind of written off for a little bit. You lost a little bit of track position toward the end, gained it back through that last run, and found yourself a little bit of a lucky opening, unfortunately, at the expense of your teammate, but brought it home P2 with a shot at the win. Take us through the last few laps of your race, and I guess what was your thoughts on Pocono?
Yeah, man. Hey, it's good talking to you again, Adam. I feel like it's been like 2 or 3 seasons since I got a podium. It's been a little ridiculous, man. Uh, yeah, I found myself in good shape there at the end. When Dusty and I restarted together, lined up, I was like, look, all we gotta do is get out in front, hope another caution doesn't come out, we'll be able to drive away. Unfortunately, another caution came out, and we had to line up side by side. He got a great restart, and then I guess he just got pushed out of the groove. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about that or how that was driving tonight, but yeah, he got pushed up out of the groove. I got back up into second there, and yeah, I just couldn't catch the leader. I didn't have enough for him, so ended up with a P2, and I'm happy with that. What a night for long shot, right?
Absolutely.
Second, third, fourth. Paul Turner coming in sixth, and our good buddy Brad Murphy in fifth. That's awesome. We killed it tonight, as far as I'm concerned. Pocono's a tough track for all of us to mind our P's and Q's as best we could and turn some good laps, come home with good finishes. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I had you guys written down almost checked off for in the win column between one of the two of you up front, having seen that the previous restart. Both of you got kind of hooked up there, but unfortunately, they kind of got split up there on the last restart. Had to start side by side instead. We know how that inside lane's been working tonight, so unfortunately, that was just advantage to Dusty for a bit. But yeah, once you guys got out front there, I kind of had you got one of you two check down, in the win column in my mind already. So it was kind of interesting to see how that played out, and definitely didn't expect. How about the cautions at Pocono? Did you 3 straight weeks of no cautions, and then Pocono of all racetracks that usually goes green forever ends up having 5 cautions. So a bit of a unexpected change of pace here tonight. As we see, the aggression level turned up, the dirty air causing people to, smack that outside wall in turn 3 and bounce off and collect people. Kind of a roller coaster all night that I didn't see coming for one.
Yeah, Pocono, it's feast or famine here, really. If you can get a few good laps in and get the field stretched out, you can run a lot of the race under green flag, no problem. But once you get one caution, and we got the one that was just random out there. I don't know who got into who, but I got a suspicion. And then it bunches everybody back up, and then they're feeling confident because we made it halfway through, all over each other, and you start getting impacts, and the air gets a little different. It can turn into a caution fest for sure. I thought we did a pretty good job overall tonight, managing the yellows as close as you have to race here, and it's really it comes down to corner entry. It's everybody's got different breaking points here. I'm sure you saw me backing it up all night, getting big runs off, but most everybody was driving it in a little deeper. So you get a lot of people running over each other or pushing up into each other on entry. But the exits are so tight too. If you're if you're pushing in deep and then getting that high run off, you're trying to stay off the wall at the same time, then you'll bounce down into somebody. It's just the nature of the beast here, but all in all, I really like the track. I've always ran well here, and it's just kind of test all your skills. You have to be able to use the brake. You have to be able to back your turns up, take the tunnel turn at speed, and stay off each other and stay off the wall. So it's a good all around track. I think I like it.
Yeah, definitely a great racetrack here at Pocono. Like we mentioned before the broadcast, a conglomeration of 3 different racetracks put together. You got the Turn 1 taken from Trenton Speedway, that, been out of probably shut down 50 years or more at this point. But Turn 1 from there, you got an Indianapolis-inspired Turn 2 being real flat at 8 degrees, and then a almost completely flat Turn 3 from that's very reminiscent of Milwaukee. So you kind of got some of the bigger tracks, and then a kind of a short track last turn there to contend with. So yeah, it kind of definitely highlights the skills throughout the field, and you guys definitely did your part in that today. And like you mentioned, a great day for long shot.
Yeah, man, it was a blast. We had a good time. Want to say thanks to you as always, Boom Tune, big sponsor here. Everything you do, great broadcast, man. Everything you put out is awesome. Love going back and watching it. Then we got Red Brush HQ as well as Sugar Maple Designs. Want to say a shout out. I know I've got the RST Scat Pack designs on this truck, but I did that just because I used to have a Charger Scat Pack in this color and I love the color. So when they released Ram, I was like, I got to have one. But my actual sponsors are the Assembly at Kingsport. Great local church here. We're doing great things in the community and growing big. And I carry MRO Motor Racing Outreach on the side of my truck usually, and Indian Youth Camp on the back, who is a mission camp for Indian children on the reservations up in northwest Montana, doing good work for the Lord as well. So good stuff there. Thanks to all my teammates on Long Shot. And what a hell of a race. I'm just glad to be back and be on the podium and able to talk to you again, Adam.
Yeah, it's great having you back with us. Always good conversation with you guys, taking us through your race, and nice in-depth insight onto what you guys had to contend with throughout the day. And yeah, just nice having different people up here every week, and I appreciate your kind words on the broadcast and everything. We definitely do our best up here to put out a quality product, and thanks to everyone out there. I got Roy and Becky and Terry out there, all watching and wishing you guys good luck every week. So pretty awesome having everyone in there tuning in. Thanks to everyone out there watching with us along with the action, and thanks to you guys on track putting it on for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks to our fans. I should have mentioned that too. We do have a lot to jump in and watch and cheer us on. So thanks to all of them as well. Appreciate you, Adam.
All right, thanks for the time, Crank. We'll see you next time. All right, last but not least, winner here at Pocono Raceway, the number 15 of Bennett Allen. If I can get him pulled up on the camera there. All right, migrated over. And, okay, I think we're all set. Well, I don't know if you made any friends today, but you did come home in first place after a few setbacks throughout the day, and we weren't sure you were going to be able to do it with the leapfrogging that we saw the whole day at Pocono, which we kind of expected. We had a lot of the same behavior from the ARCA cars a couple seasons ago, and as these trucks kind of get closer and closer to being more similar to those ARCA cars, we see a lot of the same characteristics coming out of them. So no surprise to see that you had it kind of figured out towards the end there, though. But truck had pretty good pace. Like we mentioned, had some troubles throughout the day, but how's things looking for your number 15 forward there?
I just want to start off and apologize to everybody. Tonight wasn't my best showing by any means. You know, there's no excuses for how I drove, but I had a headache all day today, and I finally took some Tylenol around like 7 o'clock. Finally felt better. But I got in here kind of knowing that I was going to be faster, and I don't want to say that like I'm a douchebag. It's just kind of how it is right now, and I was doing the strategy in my head for the first half of the race. I was like, I need to save X amount of fuel to be able to make it on 2 stops. And I did that. We had that first yellow that came out, and I was like, that would put me closer to the number I wanted. And that first pit stop, I got in and I slid through my box, which I didn't think I was going to, but I still did. And I put the truck in reverse, but my shifter wasn't registering reverse, and so I had to like jimmy it to where it finally registered reverse. So I lost like 5 seconds on pit road. So I was driving really hard in that second run, and got behind Crank. Once I caught up to him, and I tried to send on his outside going to 3, and I don't know if he got loose or tight or what. But he threw a block at first, and I kind of felt like he threw a second block at me going back up the racetrack, and I really didn't appreciate that much. But he said that he just got tight, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And so, but once that happened, I was seeing red, and when that happens, it's hard to get me out of that funk. And so I got into him coming off of 2. I didn't mean to get into him. When I watched the replay, it seemed like there was still about a lane on his outside, and I assumed he was going to go all the way up on to the wall and corner exit. And I don't have 3 monitors, so my view was very, very limited. And I just didn't see that he didn't go all the way up the racetrack, and I got into him and turned him. And ultimately, that gave me 2.5 minutes of damage. So I kind of shot myself in the foot. And so I had a battle, and kept battling. And then I got into Bradley Murphy. I watched that. I felt like it was more of a racing deal. Like I was pinching him down to try to get a better exit and make sure he didn't get a good exit. And then I came down more than he came up. So I think that's also on me. And so I got more damage from that. I fixed, another 1.5 minutes of damage there. And then my last incident of the night was going into 2 again. I call that the trouble corner for a reason. And I was behind Crank again, and I dove it into 2, like my normal line. I could send it into 2 deeper than most people. And all of a sudden, a wild Devin Gentry appears, and I really had nowhere to go. And so I saw the lane on the bottom open up, and so I tried to send it. And once my truck transitioned from the track to the apron, it just got tight, and I was hanging over a fish trying to turn away from him, and I got into the back of him. So there's 3 incidents. I caused 3 of the yellows tonight. I never want to do that. But like I said, it's got in my head. And I kind of shot myself in the foot. It sucks, but somehow I still won. Crank raced me clean there at the end, which I appreciate. He didn't need to. I deserved to get punted. He did it, so I appreciate him for doing that. But yeah, I just feel bad, man. That was not my best showing.
Well, that aside, it was definitely some exciting racing for everyone to watch. I think everyone still, for the most part, had a good time. I know we got some drivers definitely frustrated, but you'll have that, especially after 3 weeks caution-free. I would say it's almost refreshing. I know drivers might have frustrations and the like, but definitely was a bit of a 180 from what we've seen the last few weeks here at Pocono, and overall was actually surprised to see you be able to repair all the damage. But part of the benefits of having such a long racetrack here at Pocono and lower pit speed than the other tracks that are, or lower caution speed than other tracks that are this length, you get a lot of time on pit lane. So you were able to get that fixed up. We thought you were out of it a few times. You saw a little bit of aero damage left on one of the runs, I think, like on the rear spoiler or something like that. But overall, got it fixed up toward the end, and yeah, able to bring it back toward the front. Didn't really see a whole lot of people able to slip away. Even on that first run, you were out to like 2.2 seconds as, the second through fourth guys were kind of leapfrogging each other over and over again. So I think they kind of handed you a gap there. But overall, was there? You think have been able to maintain? You know, say there's 5 more laps to this thing. Do you think you would have been able to maintain that gap, or is the draft just too strong to maintain it for very long without overdriving the tire too much?
Well, that first run where I had that gap, if I would have kept running as hard as I would have extended it. But I was saving gas. Like I was clutching in 1 and 3. Because I kind of overshot my number. I could have started pushing a little bit later, but I was just trying to be really safe. And I let them come back to me because I was like, I have this big of a gap. I can save as much fuel as I need, so I could be good to the end. Which obviously, I didn't really need to do that in the long run, because of the yellows. But at the end of the race, that last run, it's so hard to maintain that gap when everybody's pushing as hard as they are. Felt like I could, you know, manage the corners. Like I would get out by a 10th or 2, but they would still be in my wake, and they would start crawling their way back. Definitely in the front straight. Front straight is so freaking long, man. Like it feels like it takes forever, and that's why you saw me weave in and try to break the draft, which people think like with the new Aero model you can do it. In the old Aero model it didn't matter, but in this one you can. And if I would have, like I tested it, if I would have stayed in my line, he would have caught me so much faster. So
yeah, even so, he's still able to get there and get about a half a car length toward the end. I think another lap, he just kept closing. Was getting that, you know, kind of following in your tire tracks. They were doing a pretty good job of it anyway, and good enough to get almost to you to turn 1. But then it looked like you're just able to send it that little bit further in turn 1 and kind of carry that speed off. Even though he had been kind of, you know, adjusting that line, he'd been kind of taking that wide entry all day to get the run off. But looks like you're able to carry enough speed there, at least for, you know, at least for the few laps that you had to. I don't know how hard you could have driven the tires, you know, sent it in there for an extended amount of time, but you know, use what you got towards the end. But yeah, that played a pretty big role here, and maybe, dare I say, even more than the ARCA car. It seemed like everyone, like the whole field, was pretty locked together the whole race.
yeah, I think part of it at the end was I still had unfixable side skirt damage. I fixed the rear spoiler stuff, which was holding me back before that last restart, or like the restart before that. So like that was on the straightaway, as you could see. I couldn't side draft, like I couldn't drag the car in front of, like next to me back, because I had basically had a parachute in the back of my truck. So once I fixed that, it was better. Like I was able to hold the draft better, but I wasn't getting these crazy runs, and my top end speed was lowered because I had more drag. So I think that played a factor. I feel like the draft really wasn't that insane compared to the ARCA car. Like you would have to get a crazy run off of 3 to have a chance at diving in the turn 1 to clear somebody. Like I tried it so many times and I couldn't. I would get right up to their, you know, their front left tire, but I couldn't get past them because the speeds would even out in the center of the corner. So not quite like the ARCA car, but it's similar. I feel like the ARCA car, it really did feel like a super speedway. As this one, it kind of just keeps you in the running.
Fair enough.
But I did notice with the dynamic track this week that it was interesting. You could definitely see the rubber get laid down and picked up, you know, under the yellows, but everyone was running the inside line under yellow, so it was just the inside line that got cleaned up. And so it kind of made it, you know, one-dimensional, get passes done at the end. But
yeah, I think a few drivers may be regretting their choice to restart on the inside a couple times throughout the race when that rubber got picked up. I think a few people might have forgot just what happens under caution with the new rubber physics in the race, and you know how they interact with the track. Because definitely could be pointed out on broadcast once or twice that you know, that inside lane's getting really light colored under caution. I think that outside lane's just gonna continue to be dominant, and for whatever reason, it just seems like the outside lane just kind of got hooked up better overall. Every time there was a restart, even out, you know, coming to the line, more often than not, the outside lane just got that jump and kind of got hooked nose to tail, and were able to push each other out front pretty much every time.
Yeah, like initially at the restart, the inside line was actually good because it got cleaned up. So when it gets cleaned up, it's actually more grip than the outside line. But turn 1 is so unbelievably wide that you could find the clean racetrack at the top of the groove. And since everybody was running such like inconsistent lines when they ran the top in one, there really wasn't a lack of grip up there. But once the bottom got rubbered out, like I would have to run half a lane higher, especially in turn two, man. Like I'd have to run a half lane higher on the long run, um, unless I wanted to touch the apron and get loose on corner exit, which I didn't mind because the truck was so unbelievably tight tonight. But it was just interesting how the track adapted. I think 3 and 4 it was already really wide. Everybody kind of took different lines in 3 and 4 the whole race, so it really didn't get rubbered up like I thought it would. You can notice it a little bit more in corner exit where everyone kind of just their lines meet, but entry in the 3 and 4 I didn't really feel a difference the whole race. I feel like I could put my truck where I needed to go if I need to run on the bottom or if I need to sit on the top. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like next week at Nashville, where it's kind of single groove. I think we're gonna see the groove kind of go up the racetrack a little bit more there. You'll see probably a wider diamond because the line there's you diamond it. So we'll see. But next week's a short track, so I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
I think that goes for a lot of people. It's bread and butter for a lot of people, but it's also a newer track that I don't think really too many people are used to racing any of the top 3 cars, A, B, or C cars at. So be a new experience for everyone, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining, if nothing else, being as character-filled and bumpy as it was. And I'm sure anyone who watched the Cars Tour race last week will be well aware of that. There was just as many fireworks coming out from underneath the race cars as there were in the air. So it'll be very interesting to see how the trucks handle it. I think they'll probably trend tight overall, but we'll see how this setup. We got a couple different options going on, and we'll distribute those out to everybody this week, and hopefully it works out for the better. But overall, I'm excited to see that. But congrats on the win. It's might be some chase implications. Probably didn't make too many friends today, but more drama the merrier as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Crank will take over that, Dusty will take over that second spot in points behind you. Now that Kyle has hung up the helmet for the season, so it'll be interesting to see you guys go at it in the chase, and it looks like he's peaking at the right time too. So I wouldn't count out having competition in the chase just yet. It'll be a couple good races for them as well, and I think their whole team, as far as a long shot goes, proved that hey, we're not out of this yet. So be looking forward to Nashville Fairgrounds for sure. But congrats on your win at Pocono, and we'll hope to see you next week.
Yeah, man. I'll see you next week.
All right, that's driver the number 15, Bennett Allen, claiming victory here at Pocono Raceway for the 7th time this season. And we're going to wrap it up in just a moment, but of course, as some drivers mentioned already, you can't leave without thanking our sponsors in Red Brush HQ, the YouTube channel of our own Devin Gentry, driver the number 12. I encourage you to go check that out. Some great videos, and he's putting out really regular content just about every week, sometimes bi-weekly. Just doing handyman work, building stuff, and showing off his trade skills all the time, and really cool channel. I encourage you to go check that out. And of course his business, Sugar Maple Designs, as well. And there's links for both of those down in the description of the video. Really encourage you to go check those out and support the sponsors that support us and are able to offer prizes and everything for these drivers, and incentives for people to come race. And thanks to those drivers who are out here racing, we appreciate each and every one of you. And we hope to see everybody next week in Nashville. So that's going to wrap it up for tonight. As always, I've been Adam LeVox here with the Boom Tube, bringing you the live action here at Pocono Raceway. 200 miles of racing, a lot of drama throughout, and Bennett Allen claims victory number 7 on the season for race number 9 of the Thursday Night Nitro Series. Be sure to be here for next week. It'll be a really unique race at a really great racetrack, and if you want to check out the preservation effort for that racetrack, there's a lot of work going into saving the real Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway as the city considers its future, and they're trying to fight to keep that track running and operational for future generations to enjoy as well. So if you have any interest in checking that out, supporting their cause, go ahead and check them out on X. I'm sure you'll see it mentioned by some bigger accounts like Dale and Hart Jr. and such in the near future, especially given their racing there the past week. But if you wouldn't mind, we always love your support. Glad to see you here each and every week. Give this video a like if you would, and subscribe if you like what you saw this week, and would like to see more of this racing action here from the Thursday Night Nitro series. And until next time, we'll see you next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right back here on the Boom Tube for racing action at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for the first time in the history of this league. So we're really excited to see that, and we'll be very excited to see you all back here next week. Until then, you have a great weekend, and God bless. We'll see you next time.